And hello there, everybody. This is part number 5 of this continuing OOTP 21 series I have been doing. I'm Big Polly. Good to be with you once again on this Saturday night, May 2nd, 2020, as I record this. I have not opened up OOTP since the last episode. A couple of days have gone by, and right now I'm at 3,631 points. Before moving on, let me just mention this little graphic here on the lower right. That is the website to the companion blog that I do, Big Polly's World of Sports Sims.wordpress.com, not WordPress. If you put an L in there, you'll go to the wrong place. And I put up some stuff there like almost every day. And you'll see this YouTube video there upon completion and me uploading it to YouTube. So, let's move on. Say goodbye to that little graphic and enter perfect team. And well, we should have a little bit of work to do today because I should be getting back some of the cards that failed to auction, and I will be selling them at a discounted rate. The next time I put them in option, I'm going to show you how I do that, because the last time I did that, I did it off of these entries. You didn't get to see it, so this time I will show it to you. Then we'll get 3 more bronze packs, and then we will move on to another round of auctions. So we are still in the entry level week before I get placed into a league that will be 30 teams, and it'll act like a Major League Baseball season where the division winners move on. The 2 best records outside of division winners move on in each league, and they knock each other out and have a playoff. And one team will be the champion for that league, and there is a promotion relegation aspect to it all that we will have plenty of time to talk about in future episodes. And if you're wondering, am I just going to be doing OOTP content for this YouTube channel and blog? No. I am waiting on a computer to arrive, and that should be taking place on Wednesday. And by later on in the week, I don't have a mouse in my pocket, people, some Action PC football, Action PC golf, and I will show you what that's all about as episodes progress. So, here's where we are. A lot of cards failed to auction. I'm going to do what I call deadwood here, where you have a card, you put it up for auction, and it fails to get any notice after 48 hours. What I do in that circumstance is I take the winning bid price that is the lowest, 15, and I take the price where I could sell it at a minimum to make at least get the minimum price, which would be 6 for a iron card, and I take 6 and 15, add them together, get 21, divide by 2, round up, you get 11. And I put it up for auction again. And these will all be iron cards. 6 and 14 is 20. And Mr. Gavagilio will go for 10. Gavagilio. I'm going to upset some Blue Jays fan by not pronouncing his name right. 13 and 6 is 19, so this will be a 10. We have Mr. Maples up. And 6 and 12 would be 9. Sounds like a Jimi Hendrix song. No, I do not automatically sell them. I'll get them right back. If not, Dan Winkler, who I remember from a previous episode, 6, 10 would be 8. Actually, I should sell them. I should sell them because that's less than double the price. That's one of my rules. If your asking price is double or less than the price you would get them for a minimum, you should sell them. So, occasionally I forget my own rules. 6 and 16 would be 11. I'm not going to go back and do my errors because I would just get the card again if I do it wrong. 6 and 14 is 20, divide by 2, 10. And that would be an automatic sell. if need be. Now we go over here and we 10 players, 26 on the roster still. I should note how we are doing as a team. We are right now 102 and 75. Okay, so we've played 177 games, but that's good. You get a lot of more rewards because a lot of these teams will be coming in ad hoc throughout the week. Next week you play the 162 game season, but I guess this week's is going to be all you can eat. And Ray Washburn threw another shutout. He's 16 and 11 for me, a 3.52 ERA. He's doing good. Should be a benefit when we start league play next week. Now, again, this is if you want to plunk down a little coin and get some perfect points. I never do that. I'm going to get 3 bronze cards. See how they run. And let's go. See if there are any silvers or golds in here. And off we go. Start off with a bronze. Now there could be more than one bronze in here. We start off with a couple of cardinals and an iron. Lakins of the Orioles. Frank Funk again. Seen him before. Adrian Sanchez of the world champion Washington Nationals. Junior Fernandez of the Cardinals. And that is pack number 1. We go to pack number 2. He said, wondering if I hit it right. Here we go. Another Cardinal. Might be a similar Cardinal from the one we had in the first pack. That is Chris Shaw of the Giants there. Here's the gold. Brewer of the Red Sox. Could there be more? That was a bronze, by the way. Here's Duggar of the Marlins. Could be more bronzes on the way. Jalen Beeks of the Rays, my hometown Tampa Bay Rays. Tyler Wade of the Yankees. I keep getting gold and bronze mixed up, and I apologize for the confusion. But if you have a card in the 60s, it's a bronze. If you have a card in the 80s, that is a gold. Jeff Samardzija, who was a wide receiver for Notre Dame a few years ago. Nico Horner. Here's a silver. Kevin Kiermaier. Well-known Rays player in these parts. Good center fielder. Not too good at bat, but worth. And Akamuri Iwamura, who was on the 2008 Rays team that went to the World Series and lost to Philadelphia in 5 games. And that 5th game was a bit of a mess as it rained and they had to come back in a couple of days, and they were fretting that it would be the first ever World Series decided by a rain delay. But Major League Baseball made it right. They brought the teams back and they got rained out the next night. They came back 2 nights from when they started the game, and the Phillies won the game and the series that year. So our next step is to see if we have any more additions to the team. We should have Kiermaier joining. Yes, we do. Let's see here. We have Mr. Vern Rule no longer on the team. Garcia no longer on the team. Mitch Webster no longer on the team. Felix Jose no longer on the team. So we have a few cards to sell, 18 of them. I will submit the team because we're 5 minutes and 28 seconds away from the next game. And now to auction off some players. We start with starting pitchers. This is Jalen Beeks of the Tampa Bay Rays. And we're going to sell him at 9. And if he doesn't sell, we will sell him for 5. Off we go. And Duggar of the Marlins. We'll go for 8. which gets us to Scott Champaria. Oh no, actually he's our best starter right now, so I should be selling Mr. Samardzija. Used to play for the Cubs, now plays for the Giants, and he goes for 12. And off to relievers. Vern Rule might probably go for a high price because he's a classic player, historical player. 38, I will go for 37 on him and sell him for 25 if nobody places a bid. Next up will be our top reliever. The person we're going to keep is Sandoval. So let's go to Fernandez, Junior Fernandez, and put him up for 10. And sell him for 5 if nobody gets him, keeping our double rule in mind. Get something for him. And let's see, that leaves us, we'll do Funk. Now if you're a wrestling fan, I don't think he's any relation to Terry, Dory Jr. or Dory Sr. The Funk brothers, of course, if you know your wrestling, held the NWA World Championships at separate times. Dory Jr. in the late 60s, early 70s, and Terry Funk beat Jack Briscoe for it in 1975. And one was the NWA champ for a couple of years. But that, we might get to more wrestling-related things as these series of YouTube videos move on. So I just thought I'd throw that in. Lakins, let's put him up for 12. Dory Funk Sr. was not a bad wrestler in the Texas circuit, Amarillo. So we sold our relievers, except the one we're keeping. And we're up to Savala now. Savala going for 8. We'll put him up for 7. Sell him for 5 if nobody takes them after 48 hours. Then, that's our catcher. We have one first baseman, so we keep him automatic. Kritz, who played for the Giants back in the day. Good second baseman defensively, looks like, but we're going to sell him for 28. Usually historical players sell for higher prices in auctions. We got a couple more second basemen to go here. We got Sanchez, who could actually play third and shortstop too. He will go for 7. We'll sell him for 5 if needed. And then from there, we go to Mr. Wade. Sell him for 7 too. Okay, we have one third baseman, we have one shortstop, so we're good to go on those fronts. And we go to Mercado, he's being sold. And he will go for 7 with a $5 automatic sell point in place. Off we go to our next stop, which will be Shaw of the Giants. Could also play a little first base if anybody is interested. Might be needing a reserve first baseman for your Iron Tournament team. And he will go for 8. Nobody gets him after 48 hours. I get him for 5. And Mr. Thomas, Lean Thomas of the Cardinals, goes for 7. So that's done. Right. We have 3 center fielders, and we only need 1 for our purposes now. Let's look at Mitch Webster. Montreal Expo, great from the 80s. Played in that outfield with Tim Raines. Back in the early 80s, they had quite a good team with Gary Carter before he was traded to the Mets. They had Warren Cromartie, Andre Dawson before he became a Cub. They had a very good team. Almost made the World Series in the strike-shortened year of 1981, but they lost to the Dodgers. And we have an update on our perfect team, so we will put this auction process on hold for just a moment and go take a look and see how my perfect team did in its most recent game. As I record this, it is just past 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So they simulate games every 30 minutes. And I think they start at 10 in the morning Eastern Time and they go till like about, I want to say 2 in the morning, late night. And a lot of games get played in the course of a week. The whole season goes by in a week, and each and every week team will either get better or get worse, and Universal walks it off, a 5-4 win over Los Angeles. Pioneers edge past Chargers 5-4. Chargers, of course, are one of the two current football teams, NFL teams in Los Angeles. Let's see what happened. Lee Tunnell went 6 innings, gave up 3. The winning run was scored by Adrianza, solo homer off of Heath Bell, who took the loss at 8-6. Osuna won for my Pioneers. They are 2-4. So, back to our center field problems. And Webster, I didn't sell Webster before I got the update. Now this will happen sometimes. You'll have player card object not found. That means I already did sell him, so we will just ignore that he's there. Clyde Milan, who we picked up in one of the first episodes. We can get rid of him now, and he goes for 32. A couple of years ago, when Perfect Team was first starting up, there were 3 guys that you could get who could help your team, and I mentioned this in the first episode. You could get Paul Weiner, you could get Allie Clark, and you could get Clyde Milan, and you could have yourself a pretty good team, and you would have an edge over the other teams starting up. If you just got those 3 players. Somebody on one of the out of the park message boards mentioned that if you get Paul Weiner, you get Allie Clark, you get Clyde Milan. Paul Weiner could hit righties well, Allie Clark could hit lefties well, and Clyde Milan could steal bases for you. That they would be worth roster spots, and keep them in reserve. Maybe they won't be your starters, but you could use them strategically late in the game. And Wayne Kirby of the Indians in the early 90s, right before they got good, and they moved into Jacobs Field, which is now Progressive Field, and they went to a couple of World Series in 95 and 97, losing heartbreakers in each series to the Braves and to the Marlins. That Marlins one was 7 games and went extra innings. Wayne Kirby now gone. And that should be that. We should be down to 10. Well, it'll show 11 because it had an error on Mitch Webster. I did sell him before the update came in. So that's that. And we're done with another episode of OOTP 21, Building a Perfect Team. I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye for now, folks.